All right, peace, peace, peace to the family. Let's go and get it started, man. We're not gonna waste no time this evening. We're gonna try to get it closer to 9, man. We're gonna try to get it close as we can. So, shit, let's go ahead and run it. All right. So my name is Brandon B. Dixon, NMLS 1541210. It's at BNL Loan also on all social media. Go to the YouTube, like, subscribe. Don't forget to actually like and comment. Hit the like button, man. That brings us to the front of the algorithm. And also, don't forget, ask any questions that you want. We'll read them live and we'll answer them live here. www.applywithb.com if you want to book me for a consultation or get a mortgage. 832-775-8357. If you want to call me 24/7. If you want to lease, go to brandonbdixon.com. Also, I'm a licensed realtor. Last but not least, COCinvestmentclub.com if you want to go ahead and mitigate your risk and get into real estate investment. And I got my boy Brandon Dunbar here. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's go from there.
Right. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Brandon Dunbar here. To get in touch with me, all you have to do is Google Brandon Dunbar Realtor. Also, you can reach me at my cell phone anytime, 281-309-4151. And to check out, anything that you want to check out online, you can also use my website, which is dunbardidit.com. So that's DUNBARDIDIT.com.
Let me know next week. I will do the banner, so I have it, running at the same time. So let me know next week ahead of time.
Understood.
So without further ado, like I said, go ahead. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to go ahead and get us some hearts and stuff like that. Also, go ahead and put any comments in the box there, and we'll go ahead and read them live. But I'm not gonna waste no time. Let's go ahead and start. Let's kick it off with the latest clips. I don't know. Should I start? Let's start it off kind of slow because I had, let the hold on. This is Barry saying he didn't get it. Let me go ahead and send this link one more time. Hold on before we get started. Let me send this link one more time. It looks like Barry about to come on. Let me see. Let me send it one more time. And boom, we struggle streaming, man. I hate this dead air. Hold on. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna start off with some of the ones that we missed the week that we're all. So that way, I don't want to go straight into the new stuff just right out the bat in case they come in. So let's go ahead and kick off. I don't know this one here. Hold on. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and run this one right here. All right. Bam. Let's go ahead and run it. This is one of the old.
$200,000 of your net worth today. What happened, man?
My appraisal on my property I thought was going to come back at $700,000 came back at $410,000.
So what are you going to do about it?
Go get a new appraisal.
Why? What? Okay, tell me what happened with the appraiser.
All right, Dunbar. I'm back in. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Calling all realtors. This is Brandon B. Dixon, NMLS 1541210. I wanted to talk to y'all real quick about my realtor referral program. So anybody interested, anybody want to sign up? And a lot of people have been asking questions, so here it goes. So don't forget, I'm licensed in 6 states. So California, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, and Illinois. So if you're a realtor in these 6 states, get at me. So what we're doing, don't forget, we just merged with Greenwood Realty. So we have the real estate side and we have the loan side all in one office. So any realtor that's interested, DM me. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to be showing any houses. So anybody that wants to split commission, that want to become a showing agent, or just you can stick with your brokerage, just want to reciprocate business, get at me. Also, give me all your turn downs. I got over 200 banks. So let's reciprocate business and make some money. So if you're serious about making money, get at me. Back in. You run the commercial free campaign. You muted.
I see your camera. I see your face.
Right. Come back in. After this commercial shit, we back on shit. You know, I had commercials ready and everything, man. You know, man. I don't know what happened, man. That was weird until I had to restart the whole thing.
Yeah.
So like my it disconnected from the Wi-Fi. Like the Wi-Fi was still working because I was on my phone on the Wi-Fi, but
you got a MacBook?
Yeah, I got a Mac.
They do some strange things sometimes.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. Like I said, that was like the second time that ever happened, like on air. Happened before, but last time it happened, we were down there finished, so we had just wrapped it up. So this is the first time at the beginning it's ever happened like that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, but welcome back to the show, man. Some technical difficulties, man. So let's go ahead and rerun it. Let's try it again from the top, man.
Let's do it.
You know, so let me rerun this clip, and we'll go from there. I think Barry B should have the link, and we should be going straight here in a second.
I don't know. He asked for comps for him to use, and then I gave him the comps, and then he didn't use any of them. He used comps that weren't even really good comps.
Were the comps that he used closer?
No.
They were farther away?
Yeah.
Were they renovated like yours?
No.
So what?
And they weren't the same style of house.
Okay, so what kind of houses were they?
Like these houses we're looking at right here. They look almost exactly like this.
Okay, so but are you upset about it?
No.
Why?
Because I know he's wrong, and I know I can get a $700,000 appraisal on it.
Okay, and then so what's the process here? What do you got to do now?
Just order a new appraisal. You could. Now, if it was off by a little, you could go and argue with them and say, well, this, and that should be changed, and therefore my property should be worth this much. But, man, if they're that far off, it's not even worth the time. Not even just spend, even though I'm going to have to spend extra money to get a new appraisal, it's not even worth waiting a few extra weeks for them to come back, because I'm not going to get what I need probably from there.
Yeah, and then so today you closed on another property, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell us the numbers behind on the house behind you.
So I bought it for $140,000. I have another $40,000 in renovations, $180,000 all in. And low end, if I have it as a 3-bed, it'll be worth $300,000. And if I can get it as a 4-bed, which I'm pretty sure I can, if I can get an egress window up there on the 3rd floor bedroom, then it will be worth $425,000.
Okay, and maybe 425,000. Now, tell us about an egress window.
Egress window has to be, that means that if there was a fire in there, it's big enough for the firefighters to get in. So it needs to be at least 24 inches wide. And I believe it was 24 inches tall and at least 20 inches wide. And then it also has to have in the opening more than 5.7 square feet of area for them to climb
So
in.
right now you got about 5 square feet. So what are you going
flat.
to do?
I'm going to just replace that window with a window that instead of opens like this, a window that opens out to the side like this and hinges. So it'll double the square footage I have right there.
So replacing 2 of them windows, 54 sheets of drywall upstairs because it's finished, but it's not finished with drywall.
Yep.
Paint, flooring. So it's going to cost you $10,000 up there, and that potentially could add an extra $100,000.
Yeah.
All right, let's go crush it, man. Look forward to seeing. So now you're not close to being a millionaire with this new appraisal because that's the number you got. Now you're knocked down to being worth about what, 850,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe 800,000. Are you mad about it?
No.
That's all right, man. It's just that's how the game works, man. If you guys want to learn how to do this, comment bird below, baby. Houses all over the place, bro.
Well, I'll go give you first crack at it while I look up this next one here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I don't know what state they're in, but
they're in Texas.
Oh, they're in Texas. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you can't unless he's a realtor. Or
yeah, that's your boy.
You can't. Is he a realtor?
Yeah, he's a realtor.
Okay, all right. So he can get accurate comp. So that's not what I'm gonna say. So this actually happened to me one time on the deal. J. Lou actually before on the house before we started working with you and got it over the finish line. So sometimes you pull comps on the wrong style of house. So that's a multifamily. I'm not sure what comps he pulled, but if you run single family homes with the same dimensions, the same, square footage, same, bedrooms, quote unquote, it's going to give you a different comp than a multifamily. So I don't know if he, ran multifamily comps. He didn't really get into that. But if he did run multifamily comps, he probably would have been, or if the appraiser in this case ran multifamily comps, it probably would have been a little bit closer to what he thought it would be worth, as opposed to what they gave him. But I mean, all in all, that's not a bad deal on the second house. He didn't really get into the details on the first house, but the second house, that's $40,000 in renovations, and you're going to be able to potentially, get a almost right 150K
right
for it. So that's not a bad deal at all. So I can tell he knows what he's doing. But like I said, I've ran into that too, where it's actually a multifamily that you should be comping, but you comping a single family. So, but he didn't really get into that on the one that the appraisal dropped.
I don't know this light here. Got the maybe they have I don't know this light.
The ordering another appraisal. That never. I don't know if you have experience with that, but that never really panned out.
Yeah, like I said, my comment on it was this: I'm multitasking. I'm struggle streaming all the way around today, but my experience with ordering another appraisal, most of the time they're gonna consolidate what the earlier appraiser said.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of times I've never seen them come up on that because they're always going to second guess themselves.
Right.
So and they always want to see the first appraisal, or they're going to want to kind of be in line with the first appraisal. So I've never seen them like try to be totally different. As far as now, I've disputed a few. They come up a little bit, but that's the thing about having the comps up front first. Having good comps up front. and then undershooting it, because what happens is when you're off totally, it blows all your numbers up.
Right.
I've had that happen before. Hold on a second. This is crazy as far as this light was just working. Now it just went out. My bad.
I guess but while you doing that, another thing I'll say is if he's actually, you know, doing the comps right, then you know you shouldn't be that far off. Another thing is if he is using a different type of loan, maybe I'm not sure what loan he's using, but maybe he can, if it's some renovations, maybe they can, you know, take the renovations into consideration and then you know appraise it in that fashion. But he didn't give a lot of details on.
Well, they usually have after repair value on there. You know, that's where he knows how much it's gonna be worth once they repair it. That's why he knew the 300,000 and 420. So usually we do it subject to. So when an appraiser comes out, for those that don't know, appraiser will give you a value subject to repairs. You know, and what they'll do is they'll comp it out on, you know, what's the latest sales. So they'll assume, all right, I understand that this wall need to be taken out. Boom, boom, boom. They'll either go off of rendering or they'll go off of what's comparable, and then they'll give you a value based on, you know, what's just sold, and it'll be subject to repairs. So once those repairs are done, then it'll be valued at the 425. Right. And then some lenders, you know, there are lenders that'll sell you. Will lend you up to 70% of that, or sometimes 80, 85% of that. Just depends.
Yeah.
You know, so that's Barry, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. You ain't missed too much, man. We struggled streaming for like 15 minutes here with the internet that went out, my light that went out. I don't know what's going on today, man. So as you can see, I'm a little bit darker than usual. My bottom light went out. I don't know what's going on. It's on and off.
My light,
but I'm looking like you in the dark right now.
My light tripping right now.
You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, let me see if I can fix my camera light. My camera light dim and everything. I'm dark and I'm up in there. But let's go ahead and if you want to introduce yourself, and then let's go get into this next clip. We're gonna keep it rolling.
Make sure people can see me. Make sure people can see me.
All right. Well, while you arguing that, I'm gonna go ahead and run this next clip. You know what I mean? Get this show moving, man.
Looking at a deal right now here. They say, come on, it's $700,000 for a 4-unit joint. There's already tenants in there. Right now, it's grossing $97.50. Why in the fuck would I go spend $700,000 on an apartment building with 4 units, and I'm only grossing $97.50 when I can go out and buy myself 50-passenger boat, and I'm gonna tag another company who's doing the same play, but they got 3 of these motherfuckers, right? I told you. We doing $1,100 an hour on my boat. $1,100 an hour, minimum 2 hours. These motherfuckers got 3 of them bitches in New Jersey. And this one play that they running right now, they doing the football games every weekend. They selling 3 fucking 52-passenger boats out every Sunday. All right, and then on the days of college play. I don't know what day they play because I ain't into the sports like that. I be trying to figure out ways how to make money. But stop bullshitting around, man. Like, you literally can get with your homeboys, your brothers, your sisters. Hell, it don't have to be real family. Get with your guys and just come connect with me. All right? Y'all been watching me for many years. I don't been on the internet for at least 4 or 5 years with this shit. No. 6, 7 years with this boat shit. I don't understand why y'all ain't jumped in yet. Like, all right, we ain't stopping here, goddamn it. We got some shit up our sleeves, all right? But for real, man, November the 12th, I'll be breaking all this shit down. How you can leverage your credit, how you can go and buy you a passenger boat, how you can charge motherfuckers $60 to $100 per ticket every single week, and that's just one event. All right. Next week we got Halloween, we got a costume party. Then Saturday we got the trap karaoke. Then Sunday we got our first brunch. So it's multiple ways to make money in this drink. We got the bar last night, the motherfucker hookah. I think all 6 of them got rented out. It's $40 a hookah. Like why not get with your people and then come and get into the water sports radio industry? All right, November the 12th. I'll be breaking it down for you. Just comment app, fill out the application, and listen. If you don't have a 700, like you don't qualify. I don't want you to just come and get the education. I want you to actually be able to come in, get the information, and execute. All right, so you need at least a 700 so we can go to the bank and get the funds that we need. All right, so if you have a 700, and if you're gonna be intentional about going all in with the water sports rental industry, the comment app, fill out the application. I'm looking at a deal right now here.
Boom. I put that in there to kind of juxtapose, like, hey, it's just not. There's thousands of ways to get paid out here, man. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, real estate is one of them.
Many ways to get money.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to get money. So I mean, real estate is one of them, but there's other plays out here. You know, a lot of it. This is a good chance with Dunbar. Dunbar got another play going as far as the catering business. I mean, so thou shalt not live by one income alone. You know, so I would knock the real estate plays. You know, the real estate plays, the steady money, the Burr method. But you know, I would say have a mixture of both. You know, I'm trying to get my hands into a little bit of everything. Long as it's a synergy, long as one doesn't take energy away from the other. You know. So, and that's just this economy that we have to deal with. You know, you could cry about it, or you could make moves and do something about it. You know, so. And the play is just you got to have multiple streams. That's just what it is. You got to diversify your portfolio. It ain't no getting around that. So, you know, this is what it is. I like what he doing. I never, got into. I don't know nothing about the business, but Dunbar got some of his sleeves. Just shameless plug time. Go ahead and tell him about the catering because I'm about to pay for me one of them turkeys as soon as we get off that.
Well, I have a catering, 2 catering companies actually. So I mean, we do everything from catering small events, birthday parties, to catering private jets. Definitely something that is lucrative. And something that you have to. It's one thing to do something and love it, and it's one thing to do something and know how to make money from it from a business standpoint and have everything your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So it's one of those things where, fortunately for me, I was already into the business before I got into the catering, so I knew what we needed to do from start to finish to make sure that we were, not going to be sued, and the product is always going to be good. So just fortunate enough for me. But as opposed to what he is mentioned, I want to know what the expenses are because he's not driving the boat. So you got to have somebody that's driving the boat. You got to have somebody that's catering. I want to know what the net is as far as income on that $11,000.
He make like
$1,100 an hour.
$1,100. So out of that $1,100 an hour, you paying somebody to drive the boat. You paying a couple different vendors. But if you're doing it, multiple times a week, right? If you're doing it multiple times a week, that's still profit. But I just want to know what he's paying to have that business stay afloat. No pun intended.
Yeah, they never tell you everything, but I mean, if you making that money,
I can probably break that down. You got fuel, you got captain, you got maintenance,
right?
You got docking fees, and all that.
It's not cheap.
Yeah,
right.
And if you're selling alcohol, you got to have a license to sell alcohol.
Right.
Right.
So, but he's saying that's just one event, you got multiple events, like you said, a brunch Sunday morning, you got Sunday evening football, you got multiple passengers coming in.
Right.
So you can run that thing.
It definitely could be lucrative, but I would just want to know what the operating cost would be.
I'm gonna say this, and I hand it over to Barry and Corey if you want to comment. I tell you one thing that's an easy sell is food and drink. People gonna eat and drink, So you want to get your money out. One of the oldest businesses is a lemonade stand. You know what I mean? So people gonna want to eat and drink. You know what I mean? So that you can lose with that, but that'll be a good starter business to get your capital up and get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know a couple of people that started their catering businesses. Some of them they're running out their house and they doing real good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of things that you have to take. It ain't just cooking the food and serving it.
Nah,
Correct.
It's a little bit more to it. I mean,
sure.
you got to have, with the health department and all that.
Right. Right.
Licenses to handle food, licenses to serve food.
Yep.
It's not a one trick pony.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a lot of them out there. That's a good way to make money though.
Gotcha. Let's go ahead and run this next one. I still got some. I got some from this week, and I got some.
Go ahead and tell you guys why we chose to sell our home. Start off by saying this is a judgment-free zone, and if you got something negative to say, go ahead and find somebody else's video to comment under. The reason why we decided to sell our home is simply because our mortgage went up too high. It has gone up over $1,000, and it's projected to go ahead and go up again because my taxes went up. So something that a lot of people don't realize, in Texas, we don't have state income tax, but we have property taxes. So since we don't have state taxes, the property taxes literally pays for everything that is done. So I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys how much our property taxes are on the newest statement that we just received. $10,990.19. Yeah. Our homeowners insurance have doubled. The reason why the homeowners insurance have went up in my area is because of so many natural disasters. There's also a lot of insurance companies that are actually pulling out of the Houston area because we have so many natural disasters. Instead of drowning and pretending, we decided to go ahead and just sell. And we got to realize cutting back isn't failure, it's wisdom. In this decision, we are protecting our peace, protecting our family, and protecting our finances, okay? Today of it all, we are trusting God. We are working on the path that God has laid out for us. And I'm going to tell y'all something about God. God has never taken anything away from me and didn't give me better in return. That I feel about this whole thing is that it's a transition. It's not the end of my story. And when you put God in situations, trust me, everything works out just fine. So yeah, that's why we're selling our home, because it has become unaffordable. Today is the day I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys why we chose to sell our.
Bam, I'll let y'all go ahead and get first crack at that. I don't know if y'all want to go like clockwise. How y'all want to roll it?
I'm the last one in, so let BD go. You know what I'm saying?
All right, yeah. So I actually ran into this with one of my clients. He was shopping in the Houston area. He was from Arizona, I think, and they don't have property taxes. They have income taxes. And he was like, it's just too high here. And so we ended up doing, because it really didn't matter where in Texas he was going to live, we ended up finding him somewhere in San Antonio. Well, I guess I ended up finding him somewhere in San Antonio where the property taxes were about half of where he was looking at in Houston. So that is a real thing, and you can't really run from it, unless you want to rent and pay 100% interest for something. So that is true. A lot of folks and the HOA doubling, that's something that you really can't control either. So I mean, she's within her means. I just hope that hopefully she has some equity, so when she did sell, she get a little bit to help her buy a new house that where the property taxes are a little bit lower, because they go, it's localized, so it's not just one tax rate for every house you're gonna see. So I hope that she was able to build some equity up in the time that she was living in there. And so she'll have a little bit of lump sum to buy a house at a lower tax rate with no HOA.
Barry,
I mean, yeah, it's getting. more expensive out there. I mean, I feel her. My my homeowners insurance has doubled since I've been in my house. And I mean, it just every year it's going. I mean, it done went up like a couple $100 in in the last year and a half, about a year. So I feel her. Hey, you got to make a decisions, man. Sometimes you got to bite that bullet. You know, sell it, regroup, get your stuff together, then go back and hit it.
Mhm.
A lot of times we let ego get in our way. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to face our family and and let our family know that, hey, look, man, we had to get rid of this big house. We had to downgrade a little bit just to be able to keep our finances where it needs to be. So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, we'll go down with the ship, just trying to not face the inevitable of facing our family and just letting them know, like, this house just financially doesn't make any more sense. That's the first thing. So one thing is I commend them for actually humbling themselves and actually making a smart financial decision and getting out early, not waiting till the last minute, not waiting till you have these 30, 60, 90-day lates, and then trying to bail out early as soon as you see the signs coming. The second thing is that, you know what I'm saying, it's unfortunate. I don't know this, but through experience, you know what I'm saying, in most of these situations, when your monthly payment jumps up by $1,000, it's on a new construction home. A lot of these builders, and I have no idea about this lady's situation. I don't even know if it was a new house, but if I had to bet the house, I would bet the house that this was actually a new construction home. And the reason I say that is because, you know what I'm saying, D.R. Horton right now is going through a class action lawsuit because they were putting people inside these homes and they were only approving them on unimproved property taxes. So then once they revalue that actual property and now they're doing land plus the house, that's how you get the drastic difference in. You used to pay $1,000 for property taxes. Now you're paying $9,000 to $10,000. And in order to make up for that escrow shortage, because guarantee you're not going to have enough in escrow for it, now they have to jack your payment up by $1,000. Now you couple the property taxes with higher insurance, which she was 100% on target. A lot of people are pulling out. And when there's less competition, everybody else knows, you know what I'm saying, they can actually rake you over the coals. So people have to necessarily use this as an example and then be able to be a little bit smarter when they're out there shopping for new homes or shopping for homes, period. Because not everybody's going to tell you everything and be fully transparent. And hopefully you don't end up in a situation like this lady right here.
I'm going to take it from a different angle, but I'll address her real quick. But I mean, I would say it's, like I said, I commend her for not jumping in the ego. It's people move all the time. I don't know why in our community is such frowned upon or looked down upon thing. People move all the time. You gotta go. I would much rather, and most other communities would much rather have that financial means in order to put up a facade, to be what's called house poor, or struggle to, or something. Who says that she went back to rent? She just said she sold the house. So she might have got a smaller house, might have got, downsized. And like I said, I'm going to take it from this angle. I did the same thing. I'm, like I said, and I did this to invest, take my equity out and invest. But and I looked at it like, all right, in 10 years, I don't have any company over. You know what I'm saying? So why am I having a 2,500 square foot house by myself? I only got one ass. I got all these sofas and stuff like that. I can't sit there, so went from mine wasn't quite 10,000. Mine was like $8,900 at Katie property tax. Now my property tax like $120 a year, I'm in Lincoln County, so this why give the government all this money for what? Like, what am I doing to put up a facade or put up, I'm just as comfortable now. I'm a little bit further out. Maybe I'll make up with that with gas money, but but at the same time, it's like we get these houses and it be out. And I had this happen with a lot of our people, first time home buyers. They want the Taj Mahal off the rip. And like, why do you need all of this? You got 2 people in the house. You don't even have kids. Why you need a 5-bedroom? For what reason? Get the meat and potatoes. Not gonna be your forever home. Leverage that money, leverage the property, leverage the appreciation. Then you gradually get what you want. I don't know why we have to out the rip have to jump out with the grandiose.
Yeah, but you don't know that's what she started. That's what she's talking about.
No, I'm not. That's why I said I'm gonna address her first, and I'm gonna pivot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm talking. I'm rifting on myself, and I'm rifting on this like her now. So yeah, so I done got over her. But a lot of customers I've seen that I had before, they, when I was really dealing with first time home buyers a lot, they stopped the process because they couldn't get all the things on their wish list. It's like, come on, we need to stop with the wish list and come with the necessity list. Hey, this is what you need. You're a teacher. You need meat and potatoes. A 4-bedroom with a walk-in closet with a shoe rack. Do you need? I understand you want that. I understand you work hard. However, what's the greater good? Do you want to throw this $27,000 away that you renting a year, or you want to put it toward a house that might not be what you want, but it's the leveraging your money later on till you can get what you want when you can really afford it. So again, delayed gratification is always usually the way to go. Delayed gratification. So it is what it is. I mean, I commend her. I salute her. I mean, sometimes you got to do was not popular. And stop living for everybody else. You know what I mean? So with that, anybody else want to comment on? I'm going to go to the next one because I got a couple of them.
Go for it.
All right, let's roll to the next one. Since we're on the business tip.
It's not until it feeds you, protects you, and ultimately it outlives you. Filing an LLC makes
let me run it to the top because I don't want to run.
Stop calling your LLC a business. It's not until it feeds you, protects you, and ultimately it outlives you. Filing an LLC makes you a CEO the same way buying sneakers makes you an elite athlete. It looks dope online, but it actually means nothing in reality. See, people make the mistake of throwing everything into one pot. Brands, contracts, cash. So one lawsuit wipes it all out. They mix rent money with revenue, and courts pierce that bell in seconds. And here's the crazy part. By default, an LLC is taxed exactly like a sole proprietorship. No built-in deductions, no automatic savings, just the IRS waiting on your profit. You think it's ironclad, right? Like this door? Nah, an LLC without structure isn't a business. It's a box with your name on it. Paperwork doesn't protect you. Structure does. So don't brag about your LLC. Brag about your systems. So what does real structure look like? Imagine this, a holding company at top, one entity that owns the assets and the equity. Operating companies below, separate lanes so risk in one doesn't sink the rest. IP protection in one box, your brand, your trademarks, your creative work in its own entity licensed out like the pros do. Tax design, knowing when to elect S Corp status, how to flow distributions, how to keep the IRS from eating first. Governance, operating agreements, clean accounts, contracts, insurance, the unsexy stuff that makes it real. And ask yourself this, if your structure wouldn't pass the audit of a Fortune 500 company, why are you betting your future earnings on it? Here's your audit in one line. If your LLC can't live without you, can't separate money, can't protect your brand, and can't keep the IRS from eating first, it's not a business. I call it a liability. The new flex isn't the paperwork, it's the profit, it's the protection, and ultimately, it's the legacy. An LLC is a shell. The vision you put inside of it, that's the business. The discipline you build around it, that's the wealth. The structure you leave behind, that's the empire. Because a shell without structure doesn't leave a legacy, it leaves a damn mess.
Jay Williams be spitting.
Dunbar, you want to go in on that first, or you want me to?
I'll reverse. I'll do the Uno reverse card. So Dixon, if you want to,
I mean, I don't want to monopolize because we could teach a whole lesson on that. Basically, we couple of things I want to take. I want to take it from these two angles. Not saying it's the only two angles, but let me take these two angles that stand out to me. A lot of people are intramural as far as being business people. They have these, they have due paperwork, or they don't understand paperwork, or they don't want to invest the money to understand the paperwork. Is what I run across in our community. A lot of people don't understand IP. When I talk IP to people, a lot of people think I'm talking jibber jabber. A lot of people don't see the importance of protecting your brand and protecting your intellectual property. That's what IP stands for. A lot of us believe in this guerrilla type. Hey, let's see if it makes money. Then if it starts taking off, then I go back, double back, and try to see what I need to do. By then, somebody jack your idea, and they making real money off of it, and then they beat you to the punch, and they gonna get the IP stuff. So we do a lot of stuff a lot of back, and then wonder why we behind. And then you don't invest. Even the simplest things I have to fight people on. That I want was potentially want to do a business. Even the simplest thing like contracts. As far as amongst the officers in the LLC, they don't want to do. Insurance policies for the key members of the LLC, they don't want to do. A lot of stuff we just want to set up shop and see what happens, and that's why we're behind. It's not taken serious. This is a serious part of the business, like you said. If it's not set up properly, then what are we doing? I get it. You got to have things that. All right, let me make some money, and then I'll go ahead. But once you do make a play, you got to prioritize doing it right. You got to do one of these things right. What I'm saying? Don't let it become habitual. Because I've seen people. All right, you had a business that made some money. Now we try to do something else, and you coming in with that same street mentality. And I'll yield it from there.
Well, my whole thing about it is, there's a lot of people, the way he put it, a lot of people just think just because you have that paper from the state, it makes you a legit LLC. But I've seen it, and me and B both, taking a look at people financials and people paying all kinds of personal bills from the business account. So then, if something happens, somebody can easily pierce that veil just because, you commingling funds and you're not actually treating the business as a business. You're just kind of treating it as a talking point, essentially, just to say I got LLC papers. This is the name of my company. But if it came down to it and you end up getting in trouble, that company will not stand the test of times, and then you're going to be held personally anyway, just because of the way that you run it, the way that it's structured. So 100% what he's saying makes sense, and I still think people need to seek out business lawyers and get advice on how to get everything structured. You don't know everything. Google don't know everything. Chat GPT is not going to be there to help, help get everything. What's up, Miguel? Chat GPT is not going to be there to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to eventually get with the right professionals and let them do their jobs. Stay in your lane, which is whatever business that you're in, and let other people's and other professionals stay in their lane and make sure that you protect it. That's all I got to say.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Spend that money and get you an attorney, somebody to know what they're doing. And you ain't got to, they going to let you know ABC is what you do, DEF don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you say, let them do what they do and you do what you do best. I think that's when people get in trouble when they trying to do other things. Like you just talking about catering. Hey, you got a catering business? Great. Get somebody in there to do the business part, the money part.
Mm-hmm.
Go on and pay that money. It'll save you in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, y'all hit all the points that I would hit. So the thing about running the business, from a financial standpoint, there are positive tax implications, but you got to keep good notes and you got to keep good books. You can't just you can't just deduct things out of thin air. You got to actually have something that you can stand on and I mean I'm talking from a tax standpoint, that you can actually stand on, and if somebody were to audit you, you'd be able to furnish. I mean that's the only thing I can add to it. There are some positive tax implications to having a business, but as far as staying in your lane, that's definitely correct. With my business, we have a HR person, we have a compliance person. You know, I'm not a cook. I can't cook anything. I burned some noodles yesterday. I'm the CPO. You know, everybody has, you know, to run a good business, you definitely have to have experts that know their lane and good at it for sure.
Right. So, I mean, just to add the last one before we switch a last comment. I mean, it's really, like I said, the paperwork is everything about monetization. And a lot of people, a lot of other cultures understand this. I think I get it. Like I said, you got to have that one or two that, you know, make some money. But once you get the money, don't just spend it. Go ahead and invest back into your actually getting the foundation set up correctly, and it could save you a lot more money in the long run. You know, so it is what it is. My man Miguel said 14 people watching. Miguel, won't you hit the like button and spread it to some of your people so we can get the 114 people, man? So go ahead. I appreciate you turning in. Ask us any question. If you got any questions about real estate business, go ahead, hit the comment box, and we'll read it live on the air. And you know, any questions, man, you know, let us know, and we'll read it live right here on the air. So let's go ahead to this next clip, and we're gonna go ahead and react to this.
Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress Black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in Black communities, even though Black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, Black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the profit from the community. Because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community. And by being a member of the community, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses.
Now, don't forget, y'all that watch it, go ahead and hit the comment box and ask any questions. I'm gonna go ahead and react to this first. So yeah, I don't know if y'all don't know what redlining is that what they did was they restricted certain demographic groups from either getting money or property in certain areas. And what they did was, they did this to Asian Americans, they did this to Black Americans as well. That's why you see so many different foreign entities in the Black community, because they got the money, they got the funding to do so. You know, that's why you see the chicken wing and fried rice joints. That's why you see the gas stations. That's why you see the corner stores, so on and so forth. So what they're saying, what the woman was saying on the video as well, is that is leaving, it's doubly draining, because now you didn't get that business that anchors that community. Also, the money that's supposed to circulate in the community is taken out the community and gone to their community. So, but the problem is we don't have a problem with none of this. You know, not a lot of those redlining laws have been lifted. We still not capitalized. Why hadn't some of those businesses been bought out? Why didn't we acquire some of these businesses that's in the hood? Why are we just letting them make it? Why we didn't put them up? All these rappers and stuff like that, all these different D-boy street cats buy these businesses from these people, make them an offer, get them out of the community, and anchor your community. The business funding is there. If you don't have the funds, use OPM, other people's money. Like the guy early on the early clip, all you need is a 700 credit score. A lot of times, Dunbar and I talked about this earlier this week. SBA does stuff like this. They salivate at the mouth for stuff like this. This is what they do. That's the FHA of business. All you have to do is have a business plan. They like to employ, create small businesses that help employment. So a lot of this stuff has been lifted, but yet what we try to do is we try to get our homeboys to invest in stuff. And they got government entities that's give you the money, but we don't know what a performer is. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to put a business proposal together. It's crazy. We got AI, but I'll open it up. I'll yield the floor now.
So I go next, when it comes to this, I would open up the conversation, and say, how many people in our culture actually wants that convenience store? So, we talk about redlining and keeping us out, but I would say, within the culture, it's not one of those things that's glorified. We like stuff to be glorified, And I'm not saying that, it doesn't exist. I've just never heard the person say, hey, look, y'all need to join me. There's lots of money in convenience stores. I'm buying a convenience store. I just haven't seen it. Again, it might be out there, but there's a lot of other businesses that can become a little bit more glorified in the community. So a little bit has to do with possibly redlining or whatever the case may be. But I would rival that with how much is the demand to actually be able to take over a convenience store inside the hood, or to actually open one, take over a liquor store inside the hood, or open one. I mean, yes, it sucks that a lot of that money is leaving the community and we're paying twice for it, but I'd be interested to know what the statistics are, for people that would actually be interested, and they just hadn't had the backing, or, people just hadn't supported them in actually getting it. So I think it's a little bit of 50-50, a little bit of redline, but I can't put the majority of the blame on that from my experiences.
Well, that's my point. Redline, they kind of outlawed it now. It's opened it up. So is there tongue-in-cheek redlining?
How many laws did they take off the books that people still?
Right, I get not. Is there tongue-in-cheek redlining?
It's not in the laws anymore, but look here, we ain't giving them no money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, just because it's not on the books.
Right.
But also, if these other people are coming into our neighborhoods and they making money, why they gonna sell?
Well,
if you making that money, like, and Nuri Muhammad made a thing about this too, where he talked about how other cultures coming to our area, make the money, then they taking the money back to their communities. If you making all that money, why I'm gonna sell?
Well, this is the thing. So it just depends on the situation. It's like, with a house. You got a house. It might not be distressed, but it might be financially distressed. You don't know. You don't know till you ask. They might be tired of the neighborhood. They might be getting older to retire. But my point is, we don't never approach like AI. Or a lot of people, if you make them an offer they can't refuse, they might get off of that business. So if we love these hoods, like we say we love these hoods, we say them in every song, why not buy these people out and put your ante up in there? Ante should be, going working that front counter. So that buy these people out, and they got business funds that'll do it. Use some of your cake, use some of your money that you talk about on the songs that we glorify, and buy these people out, and that way it's a play for the next generation. And like I said, like he's talking about the empire that'll live, because all we did, we probably missed out on it. We probably missed out on it earlier, the generation before that. So now's another opportunity to circle back. Dumbo, I know you got to roll at about 10:20.
Yeah, no. Well, it's one thing comes to mind, which is it's a movie. I think it's called "Don't Be a Menace to Society" while
drinking juice in the hood.
Wayne's on it. And I mean, I was young when that came out. I think we just used to those people in our neighborhoods with those stores. So it doesn't mean that we can't open our own convenience stores, but we just feel like maybe that's their lane. That's I mean, because they, you know, like I said, they've been doing it for a while. I do know a couple of rappers that does have convenience stores in the Alameda area, but I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where it's just socially accepted with us that we're gonna have an Indian or a Chinese person at the quickie stop and, you know, at our gas station. So I think that we don't even think about the profit or think about that business as much as other folks in other cultures do.
I think I agree with that too. We don't prioritize it, so we and we don't think about it, so we don't prioritize having that kind of business. We sometimes we think of other kind of businesses.
Right. We'd rather be on the corner instead of being inside. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, you're on the corner of the convenience store instead of owning the convenience store.
Right.
It's
we look at it. Oh, how can we run something through that? Like, man, what if you run a convenience store and a gas station? That's all the money. You know, you could have a lot of money just right there. You know, you know, just off the top of that. But this whole thing you'll see is to really get you to think. You know, this is a thinking podcast. Think of other things, and if you hadn't thought about it before, you know, there's all kind of ways to get paid. Like, you'll see the theme of this particular show today. Let's go ahead and run this next one. Don't forget, man. Y'all that's watching, hit the like button. We only got one like. Please hit the like button, please. And then go ahead and comment. Hit the comment box and we'll read it live on air. So if y'all got any comments on anything we've been saying, go ahead, hit us up.
It's not the young brother living in poverty in the projects. No, these be the youngsters that live in the suburbs whose families have six-figure incomes. Mama make 300,000, daddy make $500,000 a year, but he is so devoid of an identity.
Right. He's trying to portray something that he ain't never been, don't have no concept of.
Well, see, he living not in a 5,000 square foot house in Pearland.
Right.
But when he goes around his peers and they ask him, where you from? He don't want to claim Pearland. So what does he do? He said, I'm from Fifth Ward. Right. That's where his granny lived. Right. That's where his mom and his daddy grew up. Because he building his identity. And because his mama and his daddy still together and his life don't look like NBA young boys, he ashamed of the fact.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. He's ashamed of the fact that he lives in a two-parent house.
Right.
He's ashamed of the fact that his family got 3-4 cars. Right. Why? Because they'll always be able to accuse him of not getting it out the mud. Right. Oh, you had this handed to you.
Right.
You know, so these are some of the really peculiar dynamics that I'm finding in these cases that I'm dealing with. So a lot of these youngsters, they have a lot of options and a lot of opportunity, but they are choosing the streets. Half the time, it's not.
I'll talk about that one first. I don't know what. I don't know if he's a lawyer. He said cases, so I'm assuming he's a lawyer. I've never seen. I'm from Fifth Ward. I've never seen what he's talking about right now. I've never seen somebody that is well off, and I mean, we won't say affluent, but that's well off, and you know, coming from a two-parent household that is you know, functional. I've never seen anybody go to or proclaim that they are not where they're from. Maybe it's just my circles. Maybe, you know, but I've never seen what he's talking about before, to where it's somebody that is placating their lifestyle, because you really can't, you know, because these people that are actually from you know, these places that are impoverished, they don't have access to the things that he does. So when he comes around, most likely he's going to look like somebody that we need to, you know, see what we get out of him, as opposed to somebody that can stand with them. That, you know, so I've never seen that dynamic.
I want to shout out Miguel, man. I guess you shared our link, man. So you got 26 people. I appreciate that, man. Let's go and get to 100, man. That'll be a record. I think the most we had got like 52 at one time. But shit, we get to 100 something people. We doing something, man. So I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Go ahead, keep commenting. So shout out to Miguel, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Dunbar, a lot, because if you living in that area, where you going and who you going around, where you gonna be talking about that? You know, you mean you going over your granny's house to see granny? They know you don't live there,
Right.
so who you lying to there? They know you don't live there, and I know you ain't just going to Third Ward, hanging out, and just roll up and say, "Hey, I'm from Fifth Ward." No, man, come on.
Yeah,
Like you say, they gonna know in a minute. People, man, they gonna know in a minute. They gonna know in a minute that you're not from there. So I think that's I don't know.
Look, I think the peer pressure. I honestly think the peer pressure is real. You know what I'm saying? The simple fact of cats don't want to tell. Back in the day, you know what I'm saying, there was a couple of cats that actually did not want to say that they were where they was from. Parents was well off. Parents might not have been together, but you know what I'm saying, parents was well off. They wanted to portray something a little bit different. So I think, you know what I'm saying, when you're amongst peers who other parents are well off as well, you get less of that kind of flawed lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, that people are trying to portray, because now everybody around you is like you. But then when you get into an area where, you know what I'm saying, everybody doesn't have that same privilege, everybody doesn't have that same benefit or whatever, of having a two-parent household, of having parents that are doing well, whatever the case may be, I feel like in the culture, you know what I'm saying, it's an easy thing to dumb down your life or even dumb down your education, just because, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to seem like the odd man out amongst your peers just because of the pressure. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be talked about. You don't want to be made fun of, or whatever the case may be. So I do see that being an issue, and it shouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately it's something that is. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they can have some kind of mentor or some kind of elder, you know what I'm saying, to help them navigate, because when they're young, it's hard for them to kind of identify themselves. They're still trying to navigate and figure it out. And a lot of that stuff has to do with social pressure. So, you know what I'm saying, in those cases, and I'm assuming he might be, I'm like Dunbar, you know what I'm saying, I'm assuming he's a lawyer, he's talking about these lawyer cases, whatever the case may be. I do see that happening, but, you know, I don't know what the resolution is or the blue pill is, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we can get a little bit more male influence to help get above just these social pressures and making yourself feel dumb or dumbing down your lifestyle and feeling embarrassed by it, because you shouldn't feel embarrassed by it. You should feel proud.
Well, let me go ahead and sum it up. Once I actually agree with Corey, you know, on this.
Hey, ring the bell. What a sound effects at? Put a sound effects on there. Come on, man. Come on. What a fireworks.
So I agree with Corey on this one, because I was one of those kids. You know, like I said, I was actually raised by my grandparents, but I would claim where my mama was from, because my mama stayed in Villa d'Anne, which was a rougher part of the neighborhood. So I was like, yeah, man, not Villa d'Anne, but Acres. No, it was Acre Road Apartments. So I would claim that, you know, Chateau Ames, my bad, Chateau Ames, I'm tripping. You know, so Chateau Ames, I would claim that, you know, and knowing that I would be on there maybe like once every other week, I'll be out there. But it is peer pressure, because in our culture, the more rougher, the more outlaw, the more gangster you are, the more cool you were. So it wasn't cool. I think it's now becoming a little bit more cool, but it wasn't cool to be a nerd at one point. It wasn't cool to be smart. It wasn't cool to be well off and have, you know, have things. And, you know, everybody used to kind of, believe it or not, people used to rib me and because I had different pair of shoes like every other day. That was, you know, back in the early 80s, that was a thing. Like, man, you got shoes every day, man. You rich. Like, nah, my grandmother worked, you know, she buy me things, you know. So You know, and that was just, you know, now looking back, now reflecting, that was a way to cope. Don't forget that even hate is love. It just expresses it in a different way. It's called envy, you know, and they don't know how to express themselves, you know. So that's all I was getting at that point. But you know, your brain's not developed to understand that at that particular point, you know. So yes, it is a thing. People, even what is it, Michael Irvin's son, right? He's multi-millionaire. He wants to be a gangster, a trap rapper, right? He's a drill rapper, right? You know, so people.
As soon as they find out that's Michael Irvin's son, that's it.
Well, they already found. They exposed him. They exposed him. You know, so yeah, that is a thing, man. That, you know, people, you know, trying to find their identity. Societal pressures make you change who you really are. You know, and I think we could get away with it better, you know, pre-social media days. Now people gonna expose you a little bit more. You're gonna get exposed quick, but there's still people to this day, you know, artists like, you know, Easy the Block Cat, but not really from Philly. You know, a lot of these cats not really from ATL. Jeezy not really from ATL. You know, all of this, you know, so, you know, a lot of people claim stuff that they're not really from. You know, so let's keep it all the way, you know, real, you know, and this just because it sounds better or it sounds rougher, it sounds more gangster, it sounds more dangerous. So we'll say false things, and it's the opposite. Like everybody else want to be better. It tells us something about our mentality, you know. So, but Dunbar, I don't want to hold you up. I'm about to run this next clip. I don't know if you want.
Nah, peace and love, brothers. I'll be here next week. I just got to go handle something. I'll see y'all next week. Let's try to get it close to 9 o'clock as we can.
Yeah, we can try to get 9 for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
For
All right.
sure.
Peace and love, brothers.
That's a bet. All right.
My clock ticking too, dog.
Yeah. I got about 30 more minutes. I only got a few more. I got a few more clips, and then we're gonna shut it down.
Barry B said my bedtime coming up, man. I'm saying
You know what? I was up late last night. Then I had to get up early. So yeah, I ain't
Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down about 30 more minutes. So,
I trade time for money. I trade money for time. I'll save what's left after I spend. I spend what's left after I invest. I work for money. I make money work for me. I use debt to look rich. I use debt to buy assets. I focus on expenses. I focus on increasing income. I see money as scarce. I see it as abundant and unlimited. I trade time for.
well, I'll let y'all go ahead and comment on that while I run this next one. While I find this next one, I'm gonna make it go a little bit more quicker.
That's why the rich stay rich.
Correct. Correct. All about the mindset, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how you look at it, you know what I'm saying? You're right for each one of your situation. And just everybody's mindset is a little bit different. That skit right there by itself, that video might go over a whole bunch of people's heads. Just because they don't necessarily understand it. But when you think about it and you understand the way the wealthy thinks and the way the wealthy handles money, the way the wealthy thinks about their time and values their time, it will start to make a lot more sense. And they didn't necessarily always have been like that. They just understood the goal and the objective of what they were trying to get to. So even in the beginning, when they were trading time for money, they knew what the end goal was going to be, what they were trying to get to. Eventually, they get to that point, they can kick back and try to tell other people and coach other people on how to do it. But the biggest thing is just understanding the way money flows and the way money works. That's the number one thing. And then you can make it work for you.
Right. I think the biggest thing that he said is the last thing is the poor mindset. He says see money as scarce. The rich mindset, he says he sees money as abundant. So that's the biggest thing right there. If you could put it in your mind that money is abundant, it's always going to flow. That's the first step right there. Then I would say the second step is to not trade time for money. You know, it always baffled me when they say, "Well, how much per hour? How much per hour?" Like, man, you got to get out of that. It don't matter how much per hour. It don't matter how can I leverage my time to make this money. Sometimes I put 100 hours into something and not get a dime. Sometimes I put 15 minutes into something and get, thousands of dollars out of it. So it's not a matter of, how much time does it take? You know, we don't look at trading time for money, and that's going to be, you know, that's a poor mind state. And the last one I really want to comment on is that he said that he as far as he buys assets. You know, he's one. The poor mindset said he buys things to look rich, and the rich man said he buys he uses debt to get assets.
You ever seen Baby Boy? What he say? Guns and butter. Guns and butter.
So the debt, like I said, the debt actually you got to leverage your debt and to make it more, you know, assets, and then use those assets to pay for your liabilities. You know, so it's all a mind frame. You got to switch your mind frame up first, then everything else will follow. I got a couple more, so let's go ahead. I'm running through them real quick. So my first LinkedIn post, I had to snatch this from LinkedIn, man. I never usually do LinkedIn. Can y'all see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go.
Do you remember this song? Well, yo, the story behind this song is terrifying, but I'll let him tell it.
My friends don't always like my music, which is hilarious to me. Like, one of my homies told me, like, after I finished Hey Ya and I played it for him, he said, man, if you put that out, man, your career is over. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, but I like this shit, though. Like,
well, it's a good thing he didn't listen to his friend, because that song turned out to be Outkast's best charting song in their entire history. And this is another example as to why you should listen to your gut and not what other people got to say. The reason why people can't see your vision is because it's not theirs to see. You've probably had a couple of your dreams destroyed by somebody else's opinion already. Don't let people discourage you. If it's calling you, create it, and then let the world catch up later.
Never heard that before, but yeah.
Never heard that one, but that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I go and run it, but yeah, man, I'm guilty of that as well, man. As far as like letting people discourage you, that's why you got to kind of just keep it, just go ahead and do it, and then, you know, see what happens from there.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, and I think it's that delayed gratification as well. We express ideas because we want to get the dopamine hit. Oh, that's a good idea. We want to get the dopamine hit before doing the work. So again, you got to discipline yourself with the delayed gratification. Keep the mouth closed. Keep the tongue apart. Just execute, and then from there get your praises, and let that be the dopamine hit. You know, as opposed to, oh, I want to tell everybody and see what they feel about it, and let them praise me now before I even do the work. Because what happens is when you express your ideas before, they're gonna be expecting something grandioso, and then if you accomplish it, it's not what they think about, they're still gonna tear it down. So, you know, so why set expectations before you even create it? You know, just go ahead and do it. Then when it's something it's coming out of nowhere, so when they do see it, it's something that's better than nothing. When nothing ever comes out exactly how you want it to when you create. So I learned just go ahead and do it. Just do it, and then they gonna comment. Haters gonna hate. Praise, you know, French writers gonna French write, and supporters gonna support. Let the chips fall where they may. I'll go ahead and yield the floor.
I like what he said that the vision is for you. Everybody ain't supposed to be on your vision. They got their own vision that they probably not following.
Right.
So
correct.
That vision is for you, not for them.
Unfortunately, we in a place where, a lot of people like to put their fears on other people just because they're scared to open that food truck or scared to start that business, whatever the case may be. They like to tell somebody else what they can't do or how they can't do it, or, they're going to waste money and try to replace that fear on somebody else so that they won't do it just because, they don't have the courage themselves to do it. I think some of the most stubborn people or some of the most successful people, just because, they have that mental toughness to say, you don't see it. Okay, I'm going to make you see it. That's all right. You don't believe in the vision. That's okay. You ain't got to believe in the vision, but I'm still going to make it happen anyway. And I think a lot of the greats is that exact same way. It's just like, I'm not going to let you stop the grind and I may fail at the actual mission, but I've learned a lesson and I'll be back again. I just need to tweak my vision a little bit, and then bring it back to fruition. That's all it is. So I think 100%, you know what I'm saying, that video makes sense, and that video needed to be heard. Because somebody as great as Outkast in that song, you know what I'm saying, it's the perfect example to put out there in the world.
Right. I'll go ahead and run the next one again. We got to get through, so I go.
This is as well. The National Low Income Housing Coalition just released a report which shows that right now in Atlanta, to afford a 2-bedroom unit at fair market rent in the city, you would have to earn an hourly wage of $41 an hour. Like I said, the National Low Income Housing Coalition just released a report which shows that in Atlanta, to afford a 2-bedroom unit at fair market rent in the city, you would have to earn an hourly wage of $41, while minimum wage there, and just like a lot of states, it's still only $7.25. I know a lot of people seem to be under the impression that minimum wage has been raised. It hasn't. Now, maybe in California and New York and major cities like that, maybe, yeah. But these little small states and stuff like that, no, it's still $7.25 an hour. Just like here in North Carolina, South Carolina, and et cetera. And apparently in Georgia, yeah, minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. So that means a person has to earn 6 times the minimum wage to be able to afford a 2-bedroom in the city. This is where we are now, people. That's insane, yeah. Insane. You gotta be making, now back in the day, if you made $41, you was the man. You was living large. I'm talking about fat. Driving what you want to ride, pulling up how you want to pull up, eating where you want to eat. Now you might be hitting the missed meal cramps now with $41. You can't even eat at all. Somebody eating what you want to eat. This is crazy, yeah. Insane. And that's in Atlanta. They say Atlanta was cheap. So I can imagine, like I said, New York, DC, Vegas, Cali. Even though they say Vegas is a little cheaper, that's on the West Coast though, because Cali is so expensive. But like, that's crazy. Like $41 an hour? Diabolique. I don't know who making that. Who's making these numbers that y'all be coming with? I don't understand this. Just like when they come with the 3 times the rent stuff. Who makes that? The rent $2,000, you gotta make 3 times the rent. Who making $6,000 a month? Like, yeah, there are some people that are making that, but the majority of people ain't making that. Nowhere close. Damn sure not bringing it home if they're making that. The average person probably bring home about $2,000 a month. Like, come on, huh? So now I'm supposed to give you all my money for a roof over my head with no lights and no food, huh? I'm just in here in the dark. I got a roof though. I'm just in here in the dark. It's crazy, yo. Insane, yo. I saw this as well.
Got to get your ass out the city. That's the first and foremost. I understand he using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? Inner city, I don't care where you're at. Inner city Atlanta, inner city Houston, inner city Salt Lake City, wherever you at, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be the most expensive around. So why would you even need to be down there if you make a minimum wage? It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the clickbait, you know what I'm saying? It's a great topic, whatever the case may be. So I ain't got much to say to it. Just get your ass out the city. That's it.
Pretty much.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you can find something else. I'm not gonna be in Midtown. Even if it's in Houston, you ain't gonna pay that there. But there's some areas you can go down a little bit further. You got to go out a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
But
let me say this. I think even if you go in the country, it might help you a little bit, but it's not going to be the problem is that, again, that's why I played it from the mentality. It's the mentality you got to switch. You understand the rules of the game that is changed. So now you got to adjust or die. I think, the days are gone. And I say this a lot on the podcast, but I'm going to reiterate it for people that's watching. The days are gone when you can have one job and, be able to raise a family on that. I think that's gone. I think you got to have multiple streams of income. I think you got to have a job. You got to have perhaps a second time or part-time job. You got to DoorDash. You got to Uber. You gotta possibly have an online business. You gotta be an influencer. You know, all of your spare time, and you gotta have a couple of businesses that's like autopilot, like some vending machines or something to that effect. You know, so you better get it all. You know, just to make it. You better have some rental properties. You better have some passive income. And this is just what it is. I think we keep crying to, hey, we want it to be like it old. Everybody compares to the old. The old is gone. It's gone. You know, this is what it is. Like, and that's why I play these clips, and that's why I have the Power of Ownership podcast. Is that we got to get awareness to, hey, it ain't never gonna be like Grandpa. No, you know, it might. You know, what do you think? All of a sudden, think about it. Let's think about it. Everybody gonna have a kumbaya. Like, all right, let's go ahead and raise the minimum wages up to $41 an hour, so everybody can live. Then there are a lot of small businesses gonna go bankrupt. So it's gonna be the same thing over again, you know. So it's never gonna be like that, man. I think we just need to adjust, and this is the new economy. You know, this is what it is. You know, so let's go. Let me go ahead and run. And then speaking of which, let's go ahead and run this one right here. I'm gonna start this one from the top.
Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and address this shit. I know a lot of y'all probably seen the video going around, you know, them two niggas walking up on a nigga in American Deli. And yeah, that was me door dashing, gang. Shit, I'm gonna keep it a bean like 100. Like, nigga gonna do what you gotta do. You feel me? Motherfuckers ain't really streaming the music right now how I would like them to be. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna go get it by any means. You know, I do a lot of other shit outside door dashing too. Like, I hustle, you know, I go get it. I ain't got no shame. I ain't got no pride problems. I don't think I'm too good for this or none of that. You hear me? Cause I got personal partners, personal friends, family members. A lot of y'all do too. That's door dashing or doing whatever the fuck it is they gotta do to make ends meet or take care of their business. You know what I'm saying? And do what they gotta do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nigga, door dashing and doing this right now for some bread, doing this right now and doing this. But when I take this bread and I'm fucking investing into this and then flipping into this, you heard me? And then nigga, come on now, don't do that. But, well, hey, other thing is, I ain't snitching, nigga. Yeah, I was door dashing. I ain't snitching though. I ain't ratting on no nigga. And I'm just speaking on me. I ain't speaking on nobody else. But 100. Even beyond that, there's a lot of other things niggas be doing to, you know what I mean, get some money or whatever, get to the next level that, you know, shit just ain't right. I ain't doing that shit. You know what I mean? I learned that all money ain't good, maybe. I learned this about how you make your money. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, whether we talking about $100 or $100 million, it's about how a nigga got there. It's about how a nigga obtain that shit. That shit matters to me. It might not matter to you, but it matters to me. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if I gotta do 100 million DoorDash orders before I go out here and make 100 million for some people that ain't right or doing some shit that ain't right. You know what I mean? 100. So nigga, yeah, I was DoorDashing, nigga. I ain't snitching, I ain't ratting. 2 lost the album out now. Novocaine out now. Put the last out now. Dropping the deluxe very soon. Tap in.
That was good promotion.
Yeah.
Hey, a good promotion for his music or the people that made that damn sandwich, because he was tearing that thing up. He was making me hungry when he was eating that thing. God damn.
Right. I mean, it's good promotion, man. Good promotion. I mean, I think this thing is like the Young Jock thing. The same thing happened to Young Jock, I think, in like 2019, where, you know, he was caught, you know, doing some Uber or Lyft or something like that, and then they try to clown him the same way. Like, man, that's crazy. It's the same thing we talked about with the people. I'm from Pearland. I mean, I'm from Acres Home, and you're really from Pearland. It's the same peer pressure. Like, why do we have to clown? If he was doing something illegal, it would be propped up. Ooh, he back in the streets. He got the things. That's cool. But he doing something legit. We got the clown on. Why? It's crazy. So we gotta ask ourselves. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he's more real with it than everybody else. Look, hey, y'all ain't streaming right now. I got to do what I got to do. That's real.
Personally, I ain't got to explain myself to nobody.
Right.
If I'm going out there doing what I got to do, and you don't like it or you want to clown me, oh well, I'm about to go do what I got to do. Yeah, you know,
But you
I
know,
ain't
this
gotta
new
explain. I ain't
generation.
gotta explain my life to you.
But you know, this new generation.
Yeah, they hopping on social media.
Yeah, you know. So you know, every day they live, and that's a good segue to my next one as well. But they live on social media. But you know, and they gotta verify. You know, they gotta they validate themselves.
Yeah,
through social media. That's just this new generation. But
and
my
then
point is that
and
shouldn't be.
he acting like he Michael Jackson out there doing
Right.
DoorDash. I ain't even know who he was. I still don't know who he is.
Me,
Right.
I might look him up.
Well, that's the thing. That's why now you know who he is. That's good on this, but that was good promotion. And I think Young Jock did the same thing. I think he owned part of this. It was like a new lift company, so that was good promotion. So if he's on that level, I salute him. You know, but that was good promotion for his stream. I guarantee the stream will pick up now because people gonna go, "Who this is? Let me hear."
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the one thing that you hear in all the music shows and stuff that you watch and all the documentaries and everything, people connect and they relate to authenticity. And that was about as authentic as he's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? He ain't come up with no bullshit excuse about why he was doing dashing. He just doubled down and owned his truth. And 100% of the time, you know what I'm saying, people are going to mess with him just because they like, man, he real. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing dashing. He wasn't acting like, oh no, that wasn't me. Or you know what I'm saying, that was my twin brother, or you know what I'm saying, coming up with some kind of BS that everybody knows is BS. And then now it would have been 10 times worse. The other thing is that, you know what I'm saying, I commend that young brother, you know what I'm saying, for not letting ego stand in the way and actually doing something legal, man, you know what I'm saying, to get the money. At the end of the day, when you got to make ends meet, you know what I'm saying, you got a lot of options out there. And some of them options going to put you in jail. DoorDashing ain't going to put you in jail. It's going to put legal bread in your pocket and keep you out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I commend him on that first and foremost. And then, you know what I'm saying, just from that alone, I don't know nothing about the young fella, but I'm going to look him up and see what his music be like. You know what I'm saying? So he going to get a couple streams from me just from that.
Just out of curiosity.
Just out of curiosity, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if he was on there, you know, BS and coming up with excuses, you know what I'm saying? You can tell he BS and all this other stuff. Man, I'm not looking that cat up. But you know what I'm saying, I'll actually mess with him. You know what I'm saying? And like B Dick say, you know what I'm saying, his streams is gonna be up. It's gonna be more promotion on his actual album and everything. And the last point I'd make is, man, when you double down on your realness and just kind of calling it as it is, calling balls and strikes, as they say, you know what I'm saying, then all that noise is gonna go away. All them people was talking all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? He made that video and he doubled down. Yeah, that was me. I ain't running from it. It is what it is. All them haters, they gonna be gone. They gonna move on to the next person that they can actually fear because he's mentally strong enough to be like, man, y'all ain't phasing me. It is what it is. Y'all trying to get to the point where I'm getting at. So you know what I'm saying, all around, you know what I'm saying, there's 100 different points and 100 different angles about that video that I can appreciate and commend that young fella. And I just hope more young fellas follow his lead.
Gotcha. Y'all don't forget to hit the comment box, hit the like. You know, we got 20 people watching. Shit, we can get half of y'all to hit the like button, man. We'd be sitting pretty, you know. So after y'all hit that like button, we got about 2-3 more to go, and we're gonna wrap it up for the night for this week. So boom, let's go ahead. That was a good segue that
social has changed the way that people are experiencing their lives. You know, she says this: we've been posting about our lives for a long time, but now I notice something else, something more than a compulsion to capture and share moments. I see people turning into TV characters, their memories into episodes, themselves into entertainment. We have become the meaningless content swiped past and scrolled through. Experiences, relationships, even our own children are cheapened, packaged, churned out for others to consume. For some of us, growing older has become a series of episodes to release. First the proposal, then the wedding, followed by house tours, pregnancy reveals, every milestone and update, on and on forever. We exist to entertain each other.
Yeah. I think
that's
we
very,
in the episode right there.
Very well put. I saw an article recently where she talks about how our oversharing on social has changed the way that.
Wow. So I'll go and let y'all get on when I get the next one. Are we turning into TV characters, man? Are we turning into Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
What's the one with guy from Living Color? where he was his whole life was a TV show, and he didn't know it. Well, he didn't know it, but we know it, or people know it.
Right.
You know, everything around you. They got a video of everything, and you see people at restaurants filming their food and all this, and we don't know what you ate.
Right.
It's
Look,
all
we
here
get
now.
we getting into an attention craved world is what we getting into. Everybody phase that, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about that dopamine, everybody wants some kind of interaction. Everybody want eyes on them. Everybody want to say, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all are amazing. We love y'all as a couple. All this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? And all that is a dopamine hit in order to do another video. Put another piece of your life on there. And then, you know what I'm saying, you start off one video, then it gets to 10 videos, then it gets to 20, you know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, you want to document every piece of your life. And I can't necessarily say, you know what I'm saying, they're wrong for that, because a lot of these streams is leading to a lot of money. So, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be a cartoon character, you know what I'm saying, and get paid for it, by all means, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. It's become so crazy now where a lot of these comedians are doing these skits now. And these skits are leading to a whole bunch of streams, a whole bunch of views, and they're leading to a whole bunch of money and opportunity for these guys. So I have no judgment, you know what I'm saying, for you putting yourself on display, you know what I'm saying, and put pieces of your life. There's a lot of stay-at-home moms that are making content, you know what I'm saying, and putting pieces of their lives out there, and they're getting all these brand deals for it. They're getting paid major money for it. So whatever it is that you're putting it on, you know what I'm saying, putting it on social media, and you getting this attention and you getting these eyes on you, just make sure you're monetizing it, and you're not just putting it out there just to be putting your life out there and putting your business out there and letting people comment on you and your relationship or whatever the case may be. Have an end goal in mind is what we talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Have a vision. Just don't be doing shit just to be doing shit.
Man, Corey been on the podcast too long. You got my segue. You got the angle that I was going to. You've been hanging around with B Dix too long. You know?
Oh, here you go. Hey, look, I knew he was gonna try to take credit. God damn.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, that was the angle why I put that in there. Like, yeah, I mean, it's two ways to look at it. Yeah, it's are we becoming entertainers? Yeah, for the most part. But at least you can monetize off it. That's what I spoke about earlier. It's like you need those streams of income. If you're gonna use your talent, that might be a talent. Look at DC Young Fly. That's how he got hot off of Vine videos. You know, he got hot off of Vine, then it became Instagram, then it turned into Wilding Out for him. You know, and then from there he started the comedy thing, and now singing and hosting show. He doing so whatever you got to do to get discovered. If you know. I think Just Hilarious too. Just Hilarious started off doing these skits, and now she's on the Breakfast Club, and you know, so it's the new age. You know, if you alluded to with the stay-at-home mom, just don't stay at home. You can't just stay at home no more. You know, do your flat tummy tea, and you know your daily routine, and you know how you take care of husband 101 or whatever. Get your audience. And the technology is there, so yeah, I would say monetize off it. If you're gonna be cheapened and packaged for entertainment, at least get paid for it. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know, so because you're gonna need it with these $21 hamburgers and $30 hamburgers, you're gonna need. You know, you're gonna need more than
especially if you're in Atlanta, you gotta be making $41 an hour.
Exactly. So I got two more skits, man. One some deep stuff and one some motivational stuff for the road, and then we're gonna go ahead and roll for that from there. So let's go ahead and rock this one.
This video and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just a thought. Have a great day.
Imagine 1,000 pilots apply for 100 positions. They all take an exam and they need a score of 90 to qualify. Let's say system A has merit-only hiring and there are 150 people who score 90 or above. How do you fill those 100 spots? Easy. Take the highest scores. Start with 100s, then 99s, then 98s. And let's say that by the time you hit a score of 95, you filled all 100 spots. You have the best 100 pilots. But it just so happens 4% are Black. This doesn't make the system racist. It's just a reality that of the top 100 scorers, only 4 were Black. Under this system, it would be irrational to wonder if a black pilot was qualified. Now imagine System B. System B considers test scores, but also has a racial target on top. They want 13% of pilots to be black. But again, out of the top 100 scores, only 4 were black. So they need 9 more pilots. So now you have to go past the top 100 pilots to find the next highest scoring black pilots. You go to pilot 101, then 120, then 130. In the best case, the remaining 9 black pilots you need are all somewhere in ranks 101 to 150. But if you don't have 13 black pilots who scored 90 or better, well, you can't change that, but you can redefine what qualified means. You can deprioritize test scores. You can add subjective factors like overcame adversity or culture fit. Now someone with an 89 who overcame adversity beats someone with a 95 who's not a culture fit. The moment you consider anything besides how they scored on the test, you get less than the best. This wasn't just hypothetical. There were signs it was actually happening. In 2021, United launched a pilot academy with a stated goal of 50% of students being women or people of color. In 2014, the FAA changed air traffic controller hiring and gave advantages to applicants who'd been unemployed or had lower GPAs. To be clear, United claimed they only changed recruiting goals, not pilot hiring directly. But can you see why someone might wonder if a black pilot is there because they were the best or because they were black? And Charlie Kirk's point wasn't that he wants black pilots to be doubted, but that they will be doubted if people know this was a part of the hiring equation. Recognizing that isn't racist, it's rational.
Is this considered racist?
Bullshit. Charlie Kirk's a fuck. Don't sit there and tell me, man, whatever. I don't even want to go into that, but he didn't say shit about that. He said, when I look at a black pilot, I'm wondering, was he qualified? Well, before he even get in the door, he got to be qualified. And I know pilots, and they don't just go by a test. So all the other stuff he's talking about is bullshit. But I'll leave that to y'all.
Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk again. Like I said, the man did, so I don't speak about dead people. I mean, like I said, I don't think he was racist at all. I mean, I think he was objective. In that clip that, you know, they try to clip it, but you got to consider the context, you know, and the context was as far as like they broke down. That's why I put the video in there. Is that how he's hired is a big part of, is it the best?
But do you know how he's hired? That's the thing. When you're on that plane and you see that black pilot, is the first thing coming to your mind is how was he hired?
Well, a lot of things I question, like how they got it. Not just that, you know, not just pilots, but a lot of corporate jobs. I wonder how they got these jobs. Certain people, I wonder
Are you wondering because what they do or because who they are?
No, I'm looking at the behavior, and I know, couple that with the fact that I know that they lowered the bar on a lot of things, and I know that DEI was rampant the last 4 years, and then it became a problem because they're not hiring the qualified people. They're looking to hire you based on what you identify as, which is stupid. I need this. I need gay black dude, gay black. Well, it was stupid. Why not hire the best person out of capability? I definitely believe in a meritocracy. The most qualified candidates should win. A lot of times it backfire on us, because like I said, we usually the odd man out. It usually don't work for us. It works for other people. It don't really work for us like that. DI. So, and you get these people in positions that's not really qualified, it degrades the whole business. I think because what happens is people, instead of striving to become the best and taking that work and doing what's necessary to make it, they're stressed to be put in a box, and then they want to cry about that box, And I get a lot of that, working around this Gen Z. They keep stating, oh, well, I'm this. Who cares? This is a business. How well can you do this? That's all I care about. I don't care what you identify as. I don't know why. How is that even coming up? I don't care. How well can you do this? Is what I care about. But that's how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to, all right, I want to be put in the box. So now by being put in this box, I am entitled to an opportunity.
My angle is a little bit different when it comes, and I hear this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I relate this to a lot of political, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, we actually get quote unquote numbers for. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the end goal is created first, and then the process is created second, or the skew of the numbers is created in order to accomplish that goal. So when I think about that, you know what I'm saying, I think about this situation here, I do think about, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the numbers that are portrayed to us or given to us, if those are true numbers or those skewed for the end goal. That's my main thing. And in this situation here, and I don't know how true this test is. I don't know how true this test is with the pilots, if they're doing that, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if somebody's main objective and their end goal is to have a certain amount of black pilots, you know what I'm saying, and they skew the results in order to get those, or skew the numbers or skew the criteria in order to get those numbers, then are those truly fair numbers? Are those truly accurate numbers? Or were they just kind of skewed, or, you know what I'm saying, in order to kind of obtain the end goal for whatever the company is? So I think that happens for a lot of different things. I can't necessarily say much about this whole pilot thing because I don't know much about it. But I do say that, you know what I'm saying, anytime numbers, quote unquote, numbers are released, I do take that with a grain of salt because I don't know how true and accurate that is. Because at the end of the day, there's always somebody at the top that has a goal that they're trying to achieve. And whatever goal that is, you know what I'm saying, they can make those numbers look however they want it to look.
Well, I do agree with that as far as making numbers, but I think what happened with DEI is that they ignoring the numbers and kind of putting other factors in there in order to accomplish what they set out to accomplish. And from there, it just lowers the bar. It's just like, if I bust my ass to be an A student, why should I get a C because everybody else made a C?
But I mean, that principle is taught early. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you have one or two people, you know what I'm saying, that ace a test. Everybody else did C or worse on a thing. And then the teacher turns around and grades on a curve.
Right.
Now, you know what I'm saying, that person that worked hard, you know what I'm saying, and studied and made an A on it, you know what I'm saying, now the A doesn't look so good because the teacher is graded on the curve now.
Right.
So now you've been punished because everybody else. I mean, it's been that way, you know what I'm saying, and you learn that early. Like you go through that, you experience that early.
Well, it didn't happen too much, but it was a thing. But the problem is that now it demotivates the A student. It makes the A student want to run at a C pace. And I think in order to get true A students, you need to let everything be neutral, and let the results show, let the results speak, and let the winners and the cream rise to the top. So I think that's just what it is. I think that's the problem, is that we have this last 4 years. Previous to this year, it was all about identity. What I identify. Where's your work? What results do you have? So, and I think that's the problem. We were rushing to. I'm gonna state what I am, and then not have anything to show for it, and then I'm entitled to certain things. I think that was the problem. And that's the good segue to this last clip here. I wanted to watch this whole thing in its entirety twice. I put it on twice, and I wound up walking away twice. So this is my first time really watching the whole thing. So, but I think it relates to what we're talking about. Hopefully.
The example, one of my cousins that grew up in the same house with me, I brought him down with me. Man, I was giving my cousin like close to $300 just to take out the trash. Hey, man, I'm trying to be okay. Can I take out the trash? But For him, that was motivation because he was like, okay, I'm gonna take out the trash. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna start driving Lyft. I'm gonna start finding a way. He used that $300 to pay for his own apartment. Like he was like in the hustle mode. Some people don't have that same hustle. Yeah. Some people don't have that same desire. Some people look at it like as scholarships. Like, man, you got a free ride. Now it's time for me to get my free ride. So being able to have true discernment on like who can handle so much, who much is given, much is required. Like who can handle this and who can't.
Now, I'll go ahead and let that be the last one. Yeah, I'll go ahead and open it up as well. Like I said, yeah, I mean, I'm glad it worked out. I thought he was gonna go somewhere different with that, but I thought he was gonna go more on the angle of this worked out as far as his cousin, but they got other people in his family that'll just want to keep that hand out, and I take that and propel from it. And you get more of that, you get more of the latter than the first. I'm glad it worked out for him, but every time I gave somebody something, it never did work out. It wound up becoming more dependent than a propulsion type thing, So that's why I try to make everybody work for something, at least work for it before I just give it to you. That way you appreciate it more.
Oh yeah,
but most people that it's like that cat, that stray cat or stray dog. You feed it once, will keep coming around. So
put some milk out.
Put that milk out. Now you got a cat. You might as well go ahead, name it, because he's gonna hang around. So I mean that's what I got most of the time. So with that being said, I mean, I'm glad it worked out for him. I mean, that is a food for thought as far as making the discernment who you could have. I guess when I was giving, I wasn't making any discretion on it. Just hey, we blood, or I know you. Here you go. So and that might be true. A lot of people just can't handle that. Those gifts. Because they're not gonna do the right thing with it. Take it and not value it or cherish it or not learn anything from it. So, that is true. Hey, you can't handle this. So let me go ahead and do something else with you. But you, all right, I think you on your hustle. Let me go ahead and bless you. So I guess that is a good thing from there. But I'll go ahead and yield the floor.
Yeah, I like a lot of those entertainers or athletes or whoever that get people and they either work for them or they help them with a business or something like that. Not like you say, not just giving them money. I heard Oprah Winfrey say that she gave like people that she wanted out of her life, she'll give them money because she know they ain't gonna pay it back and she ain't gonna never see them.
But Jameis Winston is one of those cats, I love to watch. And then now, in his later in his career, he's become a lot more on video. You start to see his personality seem to come out. Jameis Winston is one of those guys that kind of identifies. I think, has been around sports long enough where he identifies talent and he identifies what motivates people. And I think he saw the same thing in his cousin. He understood what his cousin probably need. Now, he didn't say this. I'm just kind of throwing this out there, but I'm thinking, that he knew his cousin, probably didn't have a goal or some kind of ambition or a passion for something. So along with the $300 to take the trash out, which a lot of people probably think that's crazy, and I get it. But Jameis Winston knew there was a end goal in mind. I needed to be able to motivate this guy so he doesn't go out there and do something stupid and land him in jail. And if that's $300 taking the trash out and a motivational talk, because I guarantee Jameis Winston gave him a motivational talk every time that he saw him. I guarantee, because that's just in him. That's just what he do. So, I guarantee he motivated him to be able to get out and actually get off his ass and actually do something. So it's crazy to think, okay, well, he paid $300 just to take the trash out. Like, that's crazy. But Jameis Winston saw the end goal. He saw something big. He saw the bigger picture. And now to me, it sounds like his cousin is thriving. His cousin no longer has to need that $300 to take the trash out. His cousin is probably doing something on his way to be successful. And it all started from a seed that Jameis Winston planted. So I love that. I love that fact, you know what I'm saying, that he was able to do that. And I love the fact that I'm saying when you're in a position where you're blessed to do something like that, you're able to bless somebody's life, that, you know, you take on that calling, you take on that responsibility to be able to bless somebody and change the course of their life. So it's a lot of lessons to be learned from that, you know what I'm saying? Besides the fact that he paid him $300 to take the trash out. Like, you got to dig deeper into that. And James Winston did something that especially probably changed his life, which is priceless.
Yeah,
what you said about that is true, because something like that, $300 to pay, you know, take the trash out. You would think that when you hear that, you thinking he probably wasn't motivated himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would. You know, he probably didn't have a business plan, or, you know, thinking about what he want to do in his life. Okay, come on, I go do this for me, make this money. Go do this, make this money.
And here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? We're all human beings, right? And we have emotions. When you don't have any money in your pocket, you know what I'm saying, it's a whole different type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in a different place. You know what I'm saying? Now, couple that with you don't have any money, you don't have any ambition, and you don't have any passion. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of stuck in no man's land, right? You can easily fall into a dark place. Easily fall into a dark place. Now you're talking about depression. Now you're talking about doing something silly, like taking your, doing something silly, right? But anything, you know what I'm saying, anything, especially $300 to take the trash out, could spark something in you to be like, man, I got a lot of life to live. You know what I'm saying? I got money in my pocket. Let me go do something with this. Let me not just blow this on weed and drink. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and do something to get my life started. He's blessing me. Let me figure out a way. It's the exact same thing Kevin Hart did for his crew. His crew just wasn't giving them money. Okay, I'm going to give you a job. You don't have a passion. You don't know what you want to do yet. Okay, cool. I'm going to pay you to be security right now. I'm going to pay you to handle my schedule, be my assistant or whatever. And then as soon as I get my business, then I'm going to give you a position to where, you know what I'm saying, you can actually have some kind of purpose. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, to you know, as James put, you know what I'm saying, to whom much is given is much is required. And if you accept that, you know what I'm saying, and for the betterment of your team, so to speak, or the betterment of your friends, you use that to benefit not just them in their pockets, but you actually do something greater, which is actually put them in a great mindset where they can actually thrive for themselves and not have you as a crutch.
Gotcha. So it looked like our audience left already. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we're gonna get out of here for this week, man. We're gonna see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, man. So
all right.